welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk about things life, love, spirituality, love attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. In this video, I want to talk about how you all have been feeling lately with the energy that's been hitting our planet, with all of the earthquakes all over the world, the volcanoes erupting, the flooding. A lot of times our energy body is aligning to what Mother Earth is experiencing. So when there's natural disasters, or so-called natural disasters, if you get my drift, if there's things being created on our planet and then we are kind of feeling the repercussions of that, well, we are feeling the repercussions of that. So I have a lot of my clients, when I sit on our calls, I ask them, all right, how was the last 7 days? How's your body feeling? Any new things happening? Any new signs, synchronicities? And the first thing we usually talk about is how their body's feeling. And I always remind them that what they're experiencing aligns with the energy that's hitting our planet. So there's something called the Schumann resonance, where you can track when there's a ton of energy coming in and hitting the planet. And my body always, always, always responds. Actually, my body and my mind are always in reaction to what's hitting our planet. So if you are having very like doom-like dreams or gory dreams or demonic dreams, that's directly related to the Schumann resonance report. If you are feeling a surge of love out of nowhere and you're just like, I'm literally making my lunch and I feel like I just want to love everybody and tell everybody I love them, that's the energy coming in strong. If you're feeling grief out of nowhere, say you're vacuuming and all of a sudden you just start crying out of nowhere, this is all connected. Okay, so stay tuned in this video because I'm going to show you on the graph how this is connecting to your physical, emotional, and mental experience. And a lot of times people can confuse this with manifestation energy. They think, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so much love and so much excitement. That means something big is on the way. And then nothing shows up. And then they get resentful and then they get pissed off at the universe and they want to get off the journey and they don't want to do it anymore. But if you simply just knew the patterns of when the energy is hitting our planet and how it affects your physical, emotional, mental, and emotional body, you'll be able to navigate life a heck of a lot easier because you're going to know why you're feeling what you're feeling. And then throw on top of it, if we're at a job we don't like, if we're in a relationship we don't like, all of that can be enhanced and we can't discern between the two because you're like, wait, am I feeling this grief and sadness because I don't like where I am? Or is it just what's hitting the planet? So the first step is to get the link. I'll leave the link below to the Schumann resonance report. I have an app that I use that I can track it all. So the first thing you want to do is when you're feeling any type of emotion out of nowhere, quickly go into the app and look and see if you see any kind of white energy. So I'm going to post a picture of the graph here. When you see this white push energy and it's pushing all the way down through the chart, that's for me the feeling of, it usually starts with a little bit of sadness. Like I'll feel grief first. So if you can imagine, the white is like a fire hose coming into your crown chakra and it's pushing all the gunk, all the energetic clutter through your system, out through your feet, down into Mother Earth, right? It's literally like an energy cleanse. It's like going to get a Reiki session times 1,000. So for me, I always start off feeling a little anxiety or feeling like a little nervous out of nowhere. And then within like 30 minutes, I feel amazing. I start wanting to create all this content. I have all these ideas. I can sometimes feel sexual energy, like I want to put on really beautiful clothing and doll myself up. So that's what the white energy can do. The white energy literally stirs up all of our emotions, our sad emotions, our sexy emotions, our happy emotions. All of it starts to come to the surface and we just have to feel it. So understanding that is number one. You got to get the link to the chart or have the app. And when you're feeling an emotion, you go and see if there's white energy coming in. If there's no white energy coming in, then most likely this is yours. This is your thing to deal with. It's your thing to uncover. And that's what I do in my mentorship is I help my clients discover all of this. I help them discern between it all. And then we think about, okay, maybe you're feeling the emotions of your children. Maybe you're feeling the emotions of your past, of your childhood, and you're being called to release it right now. So it's so cool once we figure out like, okay, it's not the chart, then it's mine. Now let me figure out, what is my soul trying to tell me? What am I trying to release right now? And a lot of times I tell my clients, you don't even need to know. You just let your body do its thing and you soothe it and you go get a bath or you go for a walk in nature and you see if it moves through you quicker. Because if we can move you through it and actually feel it, it won't keep coming back, right? The more cleansed we are, the more purified our vessels is and our chakras are, the more we can move through life being pure light and walking around not feeling the anxiety that everybody else is feeling because they're so dense and they're so tied down by all their unprocessed trauma. So when you work in my mentorship, we deal with your unprocessed trauma. It surfaces during that time together. And a lot of times it's stuff that people didn't even know that they were holding on to. Like my client this past weekend was like, I thought I grieved all of this. I can't believe this is coming up again. And it was her truth. Like her body was still grieving her past divorce. So sometimes we don't even know that we're still holding it, but the body keeps score. The body remembers. So we have to allow the body to do its thing. And if we can, discern between our feelings and our emotions and what is happening on the planet, we're going to become the masters of our reality, because we're not going to be like a rag doll flying around, flailing around, going, I don't know what's going on with me. What are these emotions? Because the unknown makes us even more fearful. So when you learn the art of identifying what's going on with you, and you surrender to, sometimes we're not going to know, and you surrender to that and you rest in that, life becomes easier. Your mind then calms down and you're not in this frantic, chaotic, I need to know state. You're now like, okay, cool. I have somebody to text so I can ask, hey, are you feeling this too? Which would be me. Or you have a friend that you can text that, and ask them. And then you work through it. You go to your journal, you say, okay, I'm feeling this emotion right now. Where could this be from my childhood? And then say, I'm open to feeling it. You sit with it, you cry with it, you hug your inner child, you nurture them, and you let it go. And when you master understanding your own energy, you then become so much more powerful, because your intention, what you focus on, is what you're creating. So if we are always flailing around not knowing what's going on, we can't consciously create. We can't manifest to the best of our ability. So when you get it under control and you empower yourself with knowledge and education around what's happening to you, within 5 minutes, you can shift, and then you can intentionally use this white push energy to manifest more for yourself. You can actually create the content that you want to create. You can start the business. You can make the website. Instead of walking around going, I don't know what I'm doing. This energy is scaring me. I don't know if something's wrong. If we're always anticipating something bad happening, we're not really going to be able to be productive in our lives, or at least as productive as we could be. So this is going to help you narrow down that window of you feeling scared and feeling emotional. And you're going to learn to process the energy. You're going to understand where it's coming from. You're going to learn how to sit with your own grief, and you're going to become the master of your reality. And then when you are really in control of your own reality, you get to teach your kids how to do this. You get to look up the Schumann resonance for your family and be like, okay, guys, we're getting a lot of energy right now. So if anybody needs to nap, if anybody needs me to make a meal, if anybody needs to go out and run and exert that energy, like, you're giving them the tools as their parent to be the best version of themselves using the energy for good, and also honoring the energy when it is coming in, that it's okay if they're having bad dreams. It's okay if something wild is happening in the reality and you're like, what's going on? You're going to be the master, and you're going to be the one with the knowledge to say, hey guys, it's okay. I know what this is. Knowledge is empowerment, you guys. So make sure you're educating yourself. I wanted to make this video because I end up doing this in my mentorship, and I empower all of my female clients to understand their own energy and to understand what's outside of them and what's outside of their control, which is the energy that hits our planet. And then being able to marry the two and to figure out how to move through life, and then educate our family members too. So when we're sharing this with people that we love, like, people will have less anxiety, and that's going to it's going to raise the frequency. It's going to lower the lower vibrations from controlling us. And we're going to step into a higher frequency, now feeling empowered to manage our own energy. So if you all need help with this, hit the link in the comments. I'd be happy to do a one-off session with you. You can work with me in my mentorship for 6 weeks. But understanding yourself, learning actually how to sit in grief and how to sit with the emotions of a past divorce or losing a loved one, or maybe your business was going full speed in one direction, then all of a sudden you got smacked down. Like, that's all happening for you in some way. And when we learn to navigate it with grace and with compassion and with forgiveness, especially the divorce piece, a lot of people are harboring hatred and anger, and they're not forgiving themselves or the other person. And that is an energy that when that Schumann resonance hits and that white energy is coming in, it's going to stir up all of those emotions. So why not deal with it now? So that when the energy is coming in for the next few years, you're not feeling any anxiety. You're feeling that surge of love. And because you're pure now, you are literally, you've been purified. You've dealt with all of your traumas. And there's always a little bit more, but it's definitely not as intense. I used to wake up with fear every night at like 2 or 3 a.m. I would just have this deep fear. I would fear my tax time. I would fear my business. I would fear relationship stuff. And now I don't wake up with any of that kind of fear. If anything, I just wake up like excited for the next day, or I have that sexual energy, or I don't know, I just want to do a million things. So it's like our body starts to become more light and we're not as weighed down by the density of our past. So hit the link in the comments if you want to work with me. I'm sending you so much love. Make sure you educate yourself. You're going to be the master of your own emotions, of your energy, and you're going to help so many people as well. So pay it forward. All right, lovies, thank you so much for supporting me, my daughter, and our channel, and we will see you in the next one. All right, bye.